gifted and black. At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
Cap D coming, 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 Cap D coming.
That is a freaking track right there. Come on. Come on. Look at Andy. Andy know how it goes. Come on.
Let's give you stuff to get the brothers looking at you. When the bone says she can show off a tattoo. Even if you're mad at you player, she ain't giving up the skins even if you try to pay her. Say not the money on your home, but if so, come and get this cash from me. Keep it on the low.
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. She all up in there like scared now. She's like, what have I gotten myself into? You inside the Danny Mo Show. That's how we do. You've heard many of my Post 101 interviews on my show with people that I feel have their fingers on the pulse of black America. And tonight you get another boost of black brilliance and excellence. Interviews with people that I feel you need to know. She is a recognized thought leader and strategist, providing strategic communication guidance to her clients, helping them protect, promote, and evolve their brands. Her leadership is solution-driven, combining ingenious thinking and strategic planning for businesses, organizations, and individuals. She's also the founder of Charles Communication Group, with a sweatshirt on right now. Didn't bring me one, but I ain't gonna get into that. A communications agency focusing on internal and external relationships, including crisis management, reputation management, public relations, and community relations. And tonight, she descends back into the Danny Mo Show to discuss the hottest trending topics bubbling within the black zeitgeist. Ladies and gentlemen, inside my Post 101, the beautiful, talented, brilliant Dr. Shauna Charles.
Oh, thank you so much for having me tonight.
How's that? How's that for an intro?
That was fantastic.
Is it raining again?
It is raining again.
The weatherman, that's got to be the easiest job in the world. Just get in there, lie. You know, you ain't got to be right none of the time. The weatherman said a couple days ago, L.A. Weatherman TV said we're probably done with the rain for the rest of through the rest of the summer. Is what he said.
Well, he ain't God.
He ain't God. Shoot. I'm like, I walked outside. I didn't know it was raining. I walked out there and saw you. I'm like, is it raining right now?
Well, I get to put my rain boots on one more time. So
look at
know.
you. You think about that. What are you doing?
You know.
Oh, come on now. So, gotta ask everybody that comes up in here. I think I asked you last time. What is your 25th letter? Your why?
That I do when I do it. You know, well, one, I like to talk, and I like to hear myself talk. So.
You are great, by the way.
Oh, gee, thank you.
I follow you on socials. You fine, girl.
Well, thank you. So that's what communication does. And then, two, I'm a little bossy, so I like to tell people what to do, get to create stories, and I like it. It's a space that I took a lot of time to figure out how I would thrive in it, and I think I found it.
How do you navigate from where you were, wherever you were, into moving into that space? Because that is a complicated, complex space.
So I was in corporate for 15 years. I worked for DirecTV, great company, by the way, when I was there. And when I was there.
Well played, by the way.
And then we got bought up by AT&T. I didn't want to do that for many reasons. I just thought it was a time and space for me to do something different.
We saw our prices go up. Trust me, we know.
So I took a year off, got me a black female therapist, did a bunch of self-assessments.
Wow.
did some self-focus groups with my friends to figure out what were the things they liked about me, what were my strengths, what are the things they called me for, where they saw some of my blind spots. Started out thinking I was going to do some executive coaching. That wasn't really the space for me. I do like to coach and to motivate and things like that. And then I just began to explore more things. I started out first with a PR company, and then I started to get asked to do more work in the comm space. So I moved from just PR to a communications agency, and that's where I am now. Ask me in 2 to 3 years, I might be something different.
That is so amazing that you said, I'm going to find a black female therapist, though. Why was that important?
1, because I'm a black female.
Okay.
2, I think sometimes our challenges are different. 3, I was coming out of corporate America, and I wanted somebody that was relatable and could understand me holistically. Mm-hmm. And even if they couldn't understand everything I was going through, they could be empathetic in some places, and they could be sympathetic in some places.
We're going to touch on interracial relationships at some time during this hour. Mm-hmm. But we've had shows on interracial relationships to where the excuse given by some black men, they say, if you're in corporate America, you don't see a lot of black women. Now, you were in corporate America. I'm willing to bet that you were a very small minority of black women that were in your space. Is it a fair argument for black men to say, yeah, I date outside my race. I work for a Fortune 500 company. Not a lot of sisters around here. I got to date with the people that I frolic with all the time. You know what I'm saying?
That means that man has no life. Because if his pool of women is only at work, what else is he doing?
What if he works 12 hours a day? Which he probably does at a Fortune 500 company.
Well, that's great. There's 12 more hours in the day.
Okay. That's fair.
And this is an era of the internet. And as much as people will be like, oh, I don't want to online date. Oh, I don't want to be on Hinge. Oh, I don't want to be on this. They still doing it.
I'm flipping the script on you right now because you know I'm going to ask you straight out. I mean, I'm assuming you date black. What?
Absolutely.
Wait,
but I also date.
What's the pause?
But I also date who likes me and who I like.
Okay, you got to expound on that. What do you mean?
I date black, of course. I mean, I'm black. I'm a black woman. I like black men. I'm attracted to black men. But
I knew the butt was coming.
Of course. But if someone else likes me and I like them, I'm going to definitely be open to that. Now, many people can't see me.
What do you mean?
Some can see me, but I'm also a little bit older. So I am more open to things now at a particular age than I was previously.
So you would date a white man?
And I have.
Okay. We're going to touch on that this hour. There's no doubt. We have a great conversation we're going to have. Get ready for it.
Let's go.
I told you I was going to get top 5 dead or alive before we continue, by the way. Your category, the 90s. Give me 5 things you missed the most about the 90s. We're talking Freaknik tonight, so give me 5 things you missed. You got it written down? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, I had to think about it. There was so much. I even called some of my friends like, am I tripping or did that happen in the 90s?
Yes.
They were like, it happened, girl.
It was a fantastic decade.
All right, so a couple of things. One is the pop culture. Okay. So that's music, that's television, that's fashion. It's so funny when I called my girlfriend, Dr. Dudley Mestry, and I was like, God, remember when we were, and so this is going to be one of the things, I was also at Howard University. Come on. In the 90s.
You were at, that's the heyday you were at.
That's the peak. And so we were talking about like all the fashion. I remember having my Nautica jacket I could turn inside out. I'm from New York. I used to love to wear my Timberlands. Woo! I mean, we would just, Sherlins in the wintertime, you know, you got your little fur, your leather on the outside. I'll never forget my brother went to London and brought me back a Sherling, it was brown on the outside with that cream. I still have it
right now.
I still have that.
I love it.
Remember the Averex jacket? You wanted the leather. Oh, I remember begging my parents for one of those things. So the fashion is definitely one thing. Another thing was attending Howard. When I was at Howard was also, I think it was 95, that OJ.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. When OJ got acquitted, people were running and screaming out of the classroom.
Matter of fact, that footage of the black youngsters on the corner screaming like crazy was near that campus. I remember that.
Yes.
They were going insane.
That was a time. Another one of my big moments or things that I missed about the 90s was I also, which I probably shouldn't have been, but I was nosy at the Million Man March.
You were there.
I was there.
I don't know. It was a Million Man March plus one woman. I didn't.
It was plus many women. Don't stop.
It was like a subtitle in parentheses, and one woman.
But that was history. It was history, and that was the 90s. And then I think the last thing I came up with was I did the Freaknik thing.
You were okay. Come on. I love this.
No.
No. Don't be trying to hold back now. Come on now. Wait.
Let me think about what I remember. Let me tell you what I told my parents. I told my parents
when she was coherent. She's trying to remember.
It had to be 94 because I hadn't graduated high school yet, and I told my parents I was going on.
You were in high school at Freaknik?
I told my parents I was going on a black college tour, and I'll never forget. I took the Amtrak train from New York to Atlanta.
Wow. How long does that take?
It took hours. It was
to.
me, my girlfriend, Angela Ramsey, Aki Veal, and then one of his friends. And the four of us went because Aki had some roots in Atlanta. We ran out of money. We stayed too long. But, you know.
That's a really, really PG come on now. You got to, come on. Then we played Monopoly.
Yeah.
And then we played some Scrabble.
And I met this black man that had all these lovely dreads, and he smelled like incense and oil, and I was 17.
So there you go. That's your thing. And you probably look him up on Instagram all the time now, don't you?
I can't even remember his name. Stop playing.
You know you do. So, see, women always say that, Andy. They always say, I can't remember. Trust me, she on there all the time trying to see who he dating. Is he married? Does he have kids? Is he now fat? That's what y'all do.
I'm too busy for that.
You probably are.
I am.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we kick off the broadcast. We got some content, and I can't wait to hear what you got to say about this stuff.
This is what?
Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Made you look.
Our Weekly Los Angeles is the largest audited black newspaper in the state of California with a distribution of over 50,000 copies weekly. Pick up a copy every Thursday to get the latest news on African American communities of LA. You can also keep up with what's going on in Los Angeles and surrounding cities by going to www.ourweekly.com. The Our Weekly website is updated daily with the current news about us and for us. For your advertising needs, Our Weekly offers economical advertising packages to fit your budget. Feel free to call Our Weekly Los Angeles at 323-905-1300 or visit the website at www.ourweekly.com. Our Weekly Los Angeles, reporting news that matters to you.
It's back. After 3 years, the Personal Involvement Center's LA Eastside Connection community event is happening this Saturday, April 15th at Praises of Zion Baptist Church located at 8222 South San Pedro Street, LA. The Personal Involvement Center, partnering with a grant from Councilmember Curran Price of the Los Angeles New 9th Council District and the Coalition for Responsible Community Development, CRCD, numero uno, are delighted to bring this fun-filled event to the community. This event is free for everyone to enjoy. There will be food, entertainment, carnival rides, and more. Bring your entire family to the corner of 83rd and San Pedro Streets on Saturday, April 15th from 12 to 4 p.m. Enjoy a family-friendly event promoting fun and togetherness. The Personal Involvement Center has been working in the community for over 50 years, so come and join the happenings on the East Side. Connect with us and others as we all have fun together. There's some good things happening on the East Side, the LA East Side Connection this Saturday, April 15th from 12 to 4 p.m.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thursday night edition of the Danny Mo Show. In conversation inside my Post 101, Dr. Shauna Charles. Let me read some comments. We were talking about Freaknik just now. Fahima said, Danny, shout out to your guest. I was at the Punch-Out at Howard during OJ's verdict, and I was awaiting my man to arrive at RFK Stadium for the Million Man March.
Yeah, she was getting some beef patties down there at the Punch-Out. That's what we used to do.
Hey, excuse me? Okay. Wait a minute. I just want to make sure. Is this some vernacular that I don't know? Andy, I'm
Jamaican beef patties.
Okay. I'm just saying. I don't know down there in the Southses. Marcus Atkins said, I helped write and edit a book about the Million Man March called Visible Glory. I was in college at the time and collabed with my college professor and his former student who now stay in Gambia. Yeah, we'll read a few more as we go along. So, Shauna, you know you're already aware how we do on the show now. But for the new listeners, this is how we get down. I got a number of topics that have been bubbling within the black zeitgeist, right? Over the past few days. Oh, you got your Danny Mo fingers. Come on, that's how you do it. Bubbling.
Bubbly.
I'll play a clip in reference to each of the topics I've chosen. I will share my thoughts immediately thereafter, and we will exchange dialogue accordingly. You cool?
I'm good with it.
Let's go. But before we begin, I want to get your opinion on my primary topic of conversation tonight. We're discussing the imminent release of the Freaknik Hulu documentary that is set to be dropped pretty soon. I gave my assessment of the doc. Many people within the KBLA ecosystem have already done it as well, but Mark Lamont Hill gave a different perspective on the griot today regarding this entire controversy, and I want you to tell me what you think on what he said. Listen.
A lot of noise is being made about this Freaknik documentary. A whole bunch of people talking about whose names and faces and voices and bodies are going to show up on this video from the 90s. And most of the conversation is about whether or not women will be exposed on this documentary, whether people's mamas and girlfriends and wives and daughters are going to show up in a Freaknik documentary. And I hear you. But that's the wrong issue. Look, I was outside in the 90s. I've been to Freaknik as an aspiring young journalist covering the story, of course. And when I was there, I saw what was happening. It's not just about women being half naked. It's not about women's hypersexuality. No, Freaknik is about men ogling, men fondling. Freaknik had a lot to do with male hypermasculinity and sexual violence. Freaknik is a rape fest. It is a sexual assault fest. That's not the only thing going on out there. I'm not trying to demonize or pathologize black people. But if we're talking about the worst parts of Freaknik, it wasn't about the actions of women. It was about the disgusting actions of us men. And so when you watch Freaknik, you don't need to be worried about mama, daughter, sister, girlfriend. You need to be worried about brother, son, husband, or yourself, and whether or not you were engaged in some of the worst parts of patriarchal culture, whether you were part of the worst parts of rape culture and misogyny and sexual violence. When we talk about Freaknik and the way we talk about Freaknik, it's a representation of all the problems we have in a society.
I'm guilty of this myself. Mm-hmm. Are we putting too much heat on the black women that were there and absolving the black men that were there of all responsibility?
Well, has anybody seen a trailer for this thing?
No, not yet.
So why are we assuming that it's going to be such a negative depiction of Freaknik?
Because just the narrative within the black blogs and black Twitter, everybody's going after the women. And most of the women seem to be the ones that are like, this is wrong, this shouldn't come out. The brothers ain't saying too much. Because I think they know they ain't going to paint us in a bad light anyway.
Well, they might not paint anybody in a bad light.
There's no way they're
okay. I mean, but that's perception. Okay. All right. So, Freaknik was a festival, street party. I can't say that I was when I went that I experienced that rape culture, things like that. Was it full of women, full of men? Absolutely. Was it packed? People in the streets shutting stuff down? Absolutely. Now, the touching and the groping and the rape, I can only assume that happened because in those type of environments where your adrenaline is up and women are looking sexy yes, I can probably say that those things happen. However, a lot of it is going to be, listen, that's the media. How they talk about it, how they cut it, what they show, who they show, who signed up to be on this documentary.
I don't know if anybody signed up. I just think it's raw footage from random people.
And that people just sent in, and now they have the rights to just use it?
I don't know where the footage
Nobody
is from.
knows.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my point.
There is one clip that I saw on Black Twitter of a man that was getting after these black girls, basically saying, see that? That's why y'all be getting raped. See that? Look what y'all got on.
Has that narrative changed today?
Probably not.
Okay. So what are we talking about?
So you're saying this could be a positive thing if we see this and we have these conversations?
I'm not saying... Again, that's perception. What I'm saying is because we don't know how they have depicted, how they have cut the footage or what they've shown, who's producing this? I missed it.
Yeah, I have the list. I don't have it in front of me, but...
Black folk?
There's black folk, no doubt.
Right.
Jermaine Dupri's in
Oh,
it,
yeah. So, I mean, hopefully they show it in a way that it was a black experience versus some negative... versus some negative experience of what women experience. And that's not to take away from the women who did attend Freaknik and who did experience those negative, horrible things when they should not have. But I think we got to see it.
Is there any way to spin that thing to a positive? Anyway? I don't know.
If they make it a fun festival, they spun the fry joint into something that wasn't so bad when they was eating them cheese sandwiches and paid all that money.
The what?
The fry, wasn't it the Fry Festival?
Oh yeah, that's right. I haven't watched that entire thing. Did they spin that to? They didn't spin that to no positive.
It wasn't positive, but it wasn't like horrible either. It was a horrible experience.
Ja Rule is still catching heat for that thing.
Well, Ja Rule should.
I don't know if he was at the helm of that entire thing, collecting all the money and everything. I think that he was
in it.
He put his name on it. That's all. Andy, you were gonna say something?
Yeah. So the producers of this documentary, executive produced by Jermaine Dupri.
Yep.
Uncle Luke Campbell.
Oh my God, Luther in it. Oh my God.
Showrunner Geraldine L. Paras.
Uh-huh.
And director P. Frank Williams.
Now sit here and tell me that you now think it's still gonna be positive with Uncle Luke up in there.
I didn't necessarily say positive. What I said was it doesn't have to be all negative.
What do you think what's gonna happen now?
I think it's gonna be showing like a party, a big party, and coming with party comes sex, drugs, and alcohol.
So how in the heck are we going to rebound from this? Because I'm always about the babies on this show. Mm-hmm. I'm really concerned about the content that comes out of our black creators out there. I'm like, we got to watch what we do. That's why some of the hip hop, I think it's too misogynistic these days. I think a lot of these shows, I pound on the Zeus Network every now and again, although I respect what they're doing, but the content, I go a little too aggressive for these youngsters out there. I think that this thing's going to come out and do damage to the culture. And it's not going to be an educational exercise in any way, shape, or form.
Anybody telling Jermaine Dupri that?
They just trying to capture the bag. They don't care.
Well, there in itself lies a problem.
No doubt that's the problem.
Well.
Oh, my God.
How do you stop that?
I would say let's not watch, but we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, everybody talking about it. They ain't even seen no trailer.
It is dominating Black Twitter, and they haven't put out a trailer yet. It's dominating Black Twitter.
It's just the title itself that got people like, whoa, hoo, ha, ha. I mean, Freaknik had a lot of, it was a brand.
Yeah.
It was a brand. It was something that people look forward to and did every year. Like,
right.
I would almost say it helped put Atlanta on the map a little before Atlanta was Atlanta. Like,
yeah.
people were traveling to go to Freaknik.
It was the center of the culture for a long time.
Right?
Matter of fact, that thing started in, what do we say, 1983? Is that what we said? Started in 83, ended in 2000?
Freaknik for us is people's Woodstock.
That's actually, you're giggling, but I think that's true.
It's there. I hate to say there because it's like, but it's like a Woodstock, right?
It was like a Woodstock,
right?
But I don't recall ever hearing about any violence coming out of that thing.
Out of where?
Out of Freaknik. Violence?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard it either. But just because we didn't hear about it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
True. Could we get away with that today? Could there be a Freaknik 2023?
Okay. I think there could be a Freaknik 2023, but I don't know if it will have the same experience and scale that the Freaknik then has now. It'd be a different the time is just different. The time is just different. People are much more engaged on their phones and things. I mean, then you didn't have that. All you had was your eyeballs, what was in front of you. You were forced to be present.
Right.
They're not forced to be present right now. They have all type of festivals. What everybody used to, it's on every social media before you know it. They've done that before they've enjoyed it. We didn't have that. You was in the street. You was on top of cars. You was meeting people. I mean,
she went New York. You see that New York chief? She flipped to New York for a second there. You see that?
Present.
You know what I'm saying? You was in the street. You know what I'm saying, son? You know what I'm saying? He was just doing a thing. You know what I'm saying? What's up, son? You are from New York. Most people will say you couldn't do a Freaknik today because too many guns on these streets these days.
I mean, they probably would be robbing folks left and right, but who said they weren't robbing folks then? We just didn't hear about it.
It's different today, though. You know it's different today.
Absolutely. It is absolutely different today, so especially in Atlanta.
Well, what are you saying? That's the black hub.
That's what I said, especially to have something like that in Atlanta.
I don't know what the crime rate is in Atlanta. Is it bad?
I don't know either, but from what I understand, it's kind of the mecca for rich black folk, right? So
That's exactly right.
When it comes with that brand and it's associated like that, people think, all right, there's money to be made out there.
Well,
so
Tyler Perry moved his entire production studio down there, right?
Well, was that taxes or was that
come on. Why
just
can't
because it was the black?
It can't be for the culture?
It could be for both, but I guess he's trying to expand too, because I also hear he's trying to buy BET. So
Yeah, I heard that too. Let me see. I got some comments coming in. Fahima said, Marcus Adkin, we are probably the same age demographic. My mentor, the late Dr. Charlotte McIntyre, co-wrote the manifesto along with Dr. Karenga. Let me see. Freaknik was like 1981 to 1996. That sounds about right. Right? I thought it went to 2000. No. It didn't?
Mm-mm.
All right. Let me see. The angle of Freaknik shouldn't be just on how black women were portrayed. It should start with how it started, as well as the perspective of both black men and women and the Atlanta culture. That's what's going to be interesting, because you got Uncle Luke in the building, cutting tape. You know and I know what he's known for.
I thought we were going to drop Uncle Luke's song. What happened now?
I don't know if we should play Uncle Luke.
Clean version.
Let's not forget that Uncle Luke had a moment on stage with a young lady that he is still trying to apologize for. Go ahead, Andy.
Couple things. There's a couple documentaries already like on YouTube about Freaknik. I believe MTV hosted it way back when. It was called True Life that they had a show on.
Yeah, I remember that show.
And when you watch that, it wasn't too raunchy or anything like that. It kind of showed a lot of fraternity life, HBCU life or whatnot. But as I'm listening to you guys talking, we're talking about the producers of the documentary, and the fact that there isn't like an official trailer out. It got me thinking that the producers are sitting together, and they're seeing the concern on social media, and they're like, you know what? We got to edit some things.
We got to cut this thing out.
We got to pivot for the culture.
Well, Marcus Adkins said, I think the climate of Me Too is too touchy to have Freaknik documented and released. And I think that kind of piggybacks on what you just said, Andy. They're probably reading Black Twitter right now. I told you, Black Twitter is on fire with this thing right now. And they're going, we're going to be in trouble if we put this thing out.
What kind of trouble?
I don't know if litigation can be brought on them just putting out what is considered to be, I'm assuming, public footage. Right?
I don't know. I got a couple lawyer friends I can call right now.
I mean, maybe you should. If it's just footage from random people, isn't it public domain if you just take footage that everybody can see and everybody's using? Right?
It is, but remember, a lot of times with that, it's how they cut it. It's how they make it look. It's what they take out or put in a way that is presumed something different. And it depends on who's in it and who do they have footage of.
Here's where I would be concerned. I was telling Andy before you came in that I saw a picture of a police officer that was touching a woman in the wrong way, and he was smiling in the picture as well. Now, you can have assault charges brought against you by touching a woman the wrong way, even accidentally in 2023, right? I'm sure there's a lot of cats in this footage they got that are doing some things that they could be easily brought up on charges. That's why people are saying we cannot
I'm thinking, are there statutes of limitations around that?
That's another question.
It's been a minute.
Has too much time gone by to sue anybody? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I guess we won't.
All I can say is I hope that the producers, even though, of course, we know that the bottom line is I hope they assume some responsibility for how they show up for the culture, because they do have some creative control over that.
I think they have all the creative control over that.
Well, I know, but I mean, the point is, though, they do want to make some money. They like for this to be something probably massive that does well, that gets the numbers.
You need shock footage.
So
it's shock and awe. You need it.
Yeah, it's not, air. Which, by the way, you guys should go see. Not that I'm promoting it,
see that.
but
I'm going to see it tomorrow.
See it.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we got a bunch of clips to get into with Dr. Shauna Charles inside my Pulse 101, Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580, News and Traffic. Let's go.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A new report claims Black Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas failed to disclose a real estate deal he made with a wealthy Republican donor. ProPublica reports a company belonging to Texas billionaire Harlan Crow bought a single-story home and 2 vacant lots in Savannah, Georgia from Thomas and his family. Thomas reportedly never disclosed the sale of the properties, which some experts told ProPublica is a possible violation of federal law requiring justices to disclose information about real estate transactions over $1,000. Now, ProPublica last week reported Thomas and his wife accepted luxury travel from Crow for decades without disclosing the trips. Well, Indiana residents are worried about what's circulating in the air now that a fire at a plastics recycling plant is 99% extinguished. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
When you think Wendy's Biggie Bag, think your go-to meal deal with your choice of JBC, double stack or crispy chicken sandwich, plus 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink. Biggie hits every time. So grab a Biggie Bag today. U.S. price and participation may vary. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
I'm young, gifted, and black.
KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
All I really want is to be happy.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in celebrating Women's History Month. I'm Dominique DePrima. Join me and Black Lives Matter Los Angeles for a reclamation in honor of Breonna Taylor. It's called Black Women Are Divine. There'll be food, music, performances, and healing services, all free. It's a space for Black women, girls, and femmes to receive love and healing, and for others to express their appreciation. Many of the 26 BLM grassroots chapters across the nation are participating in this honoring of the memory of Breonna Taylor on the anniversary of her death. It's taking place on Saturday, March 18th from noon to 4 p.m. at Norman Houston Park, 4800 South La Brea in Los Angeles. It's the park at the summit. For special parking options and more information, visit blmla.org. That's blmla.org. Celebrate Women's History Month with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles and all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's all. Let me see.
No, you did. Come on. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about, doctor.
Just make that 2-0. Yeah, come on. Let me see that 2-0. Get up and roll. And make that 2-0 to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the front, to the front, to the right, to the right. Now slide, slide, baby, slide. Just slide, baby, slide. Just slide, baby, slide. Come on, to the left, to the left.
We are freaking it right now.
To the right, to the front, to the front, to the right, to the right. Now dip, baby.
Woo, come on now.
Dip, baby, dip, baby, dip. Just dip, baby, dip. Just dip, baby. Cotton candy, greedy, go. Let me see the juice.
All right.
I don't know what you
We've acted fool enough. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580, talking Freaknik tonight, obviously. But we got to move on to the next topic, though. We got Dr. Shauna Charles inside my Pulse One-on-One. Now, our first story officially is about potential. Some are trying to say that it's not potential, it's about menstrual. As we all know, State Representative Justin Pearson, a lawmaker from Memphis, was sworn in outside the State House in Nashville today. Just yesterday, Shelby County commissioners had unanimously voted to reinstate him after an expulsion he, his fellow expelled lawmaker, Justin Jones, and others have denounced as motivated by racism. But that's not the story. The story is many are claiming that Justin is a caricature because of a video that has gone viral juxtaposing him with his 2016 version with his current 2023 version. Listen.
I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Boonton Democrats to the Boonton Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle.
That was 2016. This is 2023.
Might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes.
Justin Pearson.
Yeah. Now, I don't have a problem with it. I'll be honest. He's 29 years old, okay? From where I'm standing, that cat already has the know-how and the experience of someone twice his age when it comes to activism. I didn't find my political voice until probably my early 30s, to be honest with you, and this cat is way ahead of schedule. But do you have a problem with Justin Pearson's metamorphosis into what many are calling a Malcolm X and Martin Luther King mashup? Dr. Shauna.
You know,
keep it real.
Oh, absolutely. When I watched this, I thought, okay, personally, like, what's the problem? He was probably a kid in the first.
It looked
part of
like high
that video,
school.
right?
Yeah.
And so my beliefs are that people really get into politics because they want to change something. I think a lot of people the people who aren't like bred into politics, born into it, generational politics. I think a lot of them start because they want to really do some good. Now, I believe once you get in there, you realize that there's not really a middle ground.
No.
You got to you got to pick a side. You got to stand for something. And when you do that, you are standing for something that's a special interest.
Right.
Right. And so with his growth, I would hope he would change, because if he came with that same thing that they showed in the beginning, I would really have to question the problem.
Right.
Right. Versus now, maybe he's seen some things, experienced some things, and he now that's more relatable to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
very well said. I totally agree. What I said on Black Twitter is like, how about just being inspired by someone that touched your heart, touched your soul? You know, a lot of these rappers do the same thing. You know, they start acting like the cats that they grew up listening to. I see no difference here. He is voluntarily throwing his hat into the ring, ran for office, and he wants to represent his district, and is doing a pretty darn good job doing it, right? So he might sound like Malcolm X. He might sound like Martin Luther King. Just the fact that he voluntarily threw his hat into the ring while everybody else is talking, he is walking the walk. Everybody else just talking.
What's that saying? Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yep. But there's the problem with it, though.
Is?
The other version of him is pretty Carlton.
Okay.
They're saying it's a huge swing of the spectrum to go from Carlton to Malcolm.
Maybe it was assimilation. Maybe when he was young, he was just assimilated to what was his environment, what he thought he would relate to.
Right.
And then, look, I went to a predominantly white high school. There was 2 black kids in my elementary school, my brother and myself.
That's me.
Then I turned around and went to Howard. You know why I went to Howard?
Why?
Because I went to a predominantly all white high school. I didn't want to be that. I was wearing flannels and boat shoes.
Right.
What?
Right.
Then my cousin went to dental school, Howard. I remember sitting in Green Stadium. I remember seeing all these black people that were about to be these doctors and dentists. I was headed to the University of Maryland, College Park. I was like, psych.
Yeah.
I'm going to Howard.
That's not going to happen.
Nah.
Yeah.
Tired. Need a break. Want to
Yeah.
learn something different. Figure out who I am. See some black folk.
How does somebody so young make that decision that you want to be more conscious about your color? Because some would say, man, you can get into white school. You're going to do much better if you do that. That's what some might assume.
Again, that's from your personal experiences.
Of course.
Your perceptions.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, there's so many factors.
School us.
Depends on who you are. Depends
Right.
on what's important to you. Depends on your values. Right?
Yeah.
And then what's do so much better?
I think some would assume that if you already on, you would be on the fast track if you hang with them white people more. There are some black people that are pretty much sold us out, sold out to race in a lot of ways. They hang around white people. They hang in white circles.
That's a school of thought. And it does work for some people.
It does work for
right?
some, but Candace Owens, she's doing it right now.
People say you do go to Harvard for the education, but you go for the network. You go for your friend's parents. You go for, that's what you're leveraging,
Yeah.
right? This is a who you know world. So it's just another school of thought. But you get the same thing coming out of these HBCUs. You meet some great people.
Yeah.
You meet some people who really doing some things.
Yeah.
So it's all about perception, experience, and you know where you fit in, or where you think you fit in. There's places I thought I fit in to realize I don't really fit in right there, nor do I really want to be there. Like the University of Maryland, College Park. I wanted to go to Howard once I experienced it.
Describe that feeling, because, like I said, I did the same thing. I went to an elementary school and junior high school, and it was really, really white. And I was in what they called MG classes back then, mentally gifted classes.
Oh, okay, smarty.
So,
So now you were really in the top 1%.
I know, no, I'm just telling. It's my personal experience. Remember, it's my personal experience.
It's all built around our personal
That being said, I sounded a lot like the young Justin Pierce.
And look at you now, braided back, bearded out,
You know what I'm saying?
blackety black.
I wasn't going to say nothing, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So, for all of you who think that people can't change, they do.
But they're saying the tone of his voice. That's what they're questioning more than anything.
So it's
He does have,
it's dialect.
Listen, by people. He's got some of that.
And how many of your preachers speak with the same dialect when they're not in the pulpit? Think about that.
True.
They drag out their words, and do they speak to you like that when you downstairs getting that food?
Which is always spaghetti. Notice that whenever you eat at church, spaghetti.
But do they?
No, they don't.
All right, then. So
spaghetti and rolls.
Okay, so help me understand that.
Okay. So, but you're basically, confirming what they're saying.
That?
It's an act.
It could be. It could be.
Okay.
Right? I'm not saying it is, but it could be, or it could just be passionate.
Yeah.
Or he could have just evolved. But his actions will tell us.
Yeah, for the record, I don't care. I really don't care. He can get up there and sing for all I care. He can just say all rhymes while he's up there for all I care. The man is in there trying to get the job done. That's all I care about.
Well, then, that's all you care about. And we will see if he is just acting in his actions, or if it's just his dialect that's changing and he's trying to be relatable to a certain group or a certain type, of person. And time will tell.
Yeah, they're on the clock now. The country didn't really know about him before. They know about him now.
And he's being watched.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, story number 2, and it's going to be very interesting. I want to know what you think about this. I got an Idris Elba clip I want you to hear, and we'll discuss that on the other side. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580 with Dr. Shauna Charles inside my Post 1-on-1. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Weezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Twitter Inc. no longer exists. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Twitter Inc. no longer exists. Its incorporated name is now X Corp. This is the name of its owner and CEO, Elon Musk's long envisioned Everything app. This is a credit to Musk's aspirations for the company. He's quoted saying he wants to turn X into the biggest financial institution in the world. Confused? Well, he'd like to turn the app into a wide-ranging service, something like China's WeChat, like a peer-to-peer mobile payment platform where users can earn interest on their cash like at a bank. He has also suggested several services in-app, including ride-hailing and food delivery. Give us your thoughts on X and more on Twitter at KBLA 1580.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
The FAA will be hiring air traffic controllers soon. Applications open June 24th through June 27th. If you know someone between the ages of 18 and 30 who might be interested, please tell them to go to www.faa.gov/BE-ATC to apply today. The salary range is $103,000 to $164,000. There's also paid training and school. Again, that's www.faa.gov/BE-ATC. Again, that's www.faa.gov/BE-ATC to apply to be an air traffic controller. This community call to action is brought to you by the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals and KBLA Talk 1580.
Gotta stay fresh, my house shot with a rest bar,
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Fahima said, Danny, stop. There's two different situations. One was a PSA for student government. The other was an expansion speech after being expelled. Are you as animated when you aren't on the air? Nope. Yes, I am, actually. Andy, do I act like this? Off mic? Thank you. Yes, I am. I'm energetic all the time, sweetie. And drug-free, too, by the way. I don't need no drink. I don't need no drugs or nothing. This is me all the time. Danny Morrison 24/7. I'm like this all the time. Okay, I might swig on a little something. What you drinking? What you drinking right now? What you want? We go to the club. We go to the bar up there. I say, Shauna, what you drinking? You say...
Gin and juice.
Wow. Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Woo! Yes.
Let me get a couple more comments here. Hi, everyone. It's code switching. It's a part of black culture for years. Black people, we got bigger fish to fry. Totally agree. King Joseph said, I hope to transfer to Howard University in the future. I have two mentors today who recommended the historic Howard University.
You know?
And how cool was it, huh?
It was so cool. I had a baby.
You had a baby while in college?
Yeah.
Like literally? Are you kidding?
No, I had a baby at Howard University Hospital.
Wow. Very nice.
I was a junior. I got pregnant my sophomore year, and I was a junior.
Was he also a student at Howard?
He was.
So y'all was in the dorm chilling. Andy, you are amazing, I swear.
Chilling,
doing that something, you know what I'm saying? Catching up on some, extra credit.
Black history,
you know what I'm saying? All right. Study time, yeah, man. But the guys couldn't go into the dorm, right? Your dorm.
So,
wait a minute now.
Being who I am, I talked my way into living in the athletic dorm. Was I an athlete? No. Did I have that game? Yes.
So was he an athlete, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Wow. You don't have to give too much information. This is your personal business.
That's okay.
How did your family react to you getting pregnant in college?
Oh, my dad didn't talk to me for 9 months.
Yeah.
And my mom was amazing. My friends were amazing, and Howard was amazing.
Yeah.
I was walking to class today. I went into labor. Howard paid for everything.
What?
They paid for everything.
So you went into labor on campus, and you had your baby at the Howard Hospital.
Homecoming weekend.
97. Because the baby was coming home. Makes sense.
97.
And they paid for everything?
Yeah, my parents' insurance would cover me at Georgetown, but it was homecoming weekend.
Yeah.
But because I was a student at Howard, I got all of Howard's student insurance. So they covered everything.
Is that standard practice or just for you?
I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty special.
Oh, my God.
So,
Lord have mercy.
But I'm thinking that it's standard practice because
Lord
Howard is Howard, and that's how they take care of us.
We haven't had a conversation about the HBCUs. They're under fire these days, and Deion didn't do them any favors recently with that whole controversy. And they're saying, what did he say? What did Dr. Umar say? I don't have the stat in front of me. I don't want to misquote him, but he said in the next 10 years, 30% of them could be close to shutting down or something like that.
Yeah, there's some really smaller ones that people don't know. But I see those smaller ones as opportunities. My belief is that everybody isn't a academic student, right? They're not getting 4.0s, 3.0s.
Absolutely.
And so I think some of the smaller HBCUs are great spaces for them to go and grow and still have an experience, still learn, where the academics isn't as rigorous, or it doesn't demand as much, and it gives them an opportunity to kind of get in that groove of, you know, studying and getting better grades. Because a lot of that stuff is also habit, right?
What do you say to those people that say that could be detrimental to black students if it's not rigorous and it's not taxing? Shouldn't it be? Shouldn't they be challenged when they get to an HBCU?
Yeah, but things are challenging to different people in different ways,
Okay.
right? If you got that 3.5, that 4.0, you're probably going to go to a Howard, a Hampton, or North Carolina A&T, right? You're not going to go necessarily, and this is no disrespect, but to maybe a Morris Brown, or maybe some people want a smaller just student body, right? So it really depends on what you're looking for. But that HBCU experience, I want to say you can't pay for that, but we paid a lot for it.
Oh, Howard, look, I've heard Howard.
And my daughter went to Howard.
Wow.
She graduated 20 years from my graduation.
Oh, my God. You had to be just teary.
You would have thought I graduated.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm sure. That is amazing.
Hello.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Can we get this clip in before the top of the hour, you think? Let's give it a try here. Our second story is about replacement theory, but a replacement of a different kind. I've been shouting from the mountaintops on my radio shows for years that Major League Baseball has intentionally orchestrated a movement to push young African Americans out of the sport, and they've succeeded. While black players made up about 18% of all MLB rosters when the Tides first began assessing the league's demographic data back in 1991, black players represented only 7.2% of all Major League Baseball players at the start of the last season. And now a new argument within the new entertainment medium is bubbling to the black surface. Listen to Idris Elba on The Shop discuss how critics are barking at British actors coming over and taking over black American roles. Listen.
Have you followed this story, and I want to ask you about this, with actors who are black and the whole idea of English black actors taking American roles? I was in a bar, I was at Chiltern, having a drink, and next to me, the actor who's playing Whitney Houston. She's English. I said, I hope you know, black women in America are gonna be like, English woman you're playing one of the most iconic African-American women ever. And it's a thing.
Terrible movie.
What do you feel about that?
Even the way you frame it up of taking American roles, right?
Yeah,
It's crazy that
it's crazy that it's,
right?
it's
But
like
you know what I noticed? You
Hmm.
said a black woman in America versus an English woman. Like being English makes you less black.
Exactly. That's the issue.
Like,
That's the issue.
to me, that defines how unintelligent the whole argument is. No disrespect to anyone that has that feelings. It is what it is. But the fact is, we're all black. Like, let's just be, you get a Scottish actor playing an Irish character or an English actor, you don't hear about the debate. But amongst ourselves, we want to point fingers because we come from a conditioning that makes people just make sure, where are you from and are you authentic from where you're from?
How black are you? Which is crazy.
How black are you? And it comes down to the caste system. And it's annoying to me, really annoying. My grandfather fought the Second World War for this country, US. Comes from Kansas City. I come to this country and someone's saying to me, you ain't American. I'm like, huh? How dare you?
Yeah, exactly.
But the truth is, what am I gonna bring that out as some sort of argument?
Well, the idea, it's a character. I mean, it's for anybody.
It's
really.
acting.
It's acting.
It's acting. Cultural appropriation, though, is definitely something that we should pay attention to. But in the acting profession, one should be allowed to play.
So are they erasing black American actors the same way they're erasing black American athletes in Major League Baseball? It might be happening. It was reported last week that Snowfall actor Damson Idris landed a coveted role opposite Brad Pitt in Apple's F1 racing film. Someone on Black Twitter wrote, and I quote, "This is why I get angry when a rare TV role for a black American goes to a foreign black actor, especially one with absolutely no knowledge of black Americans. That's all the excuse Hollywood needs to give them more and more roles that they don't give to us." I want to know what you think about foreigners coming over and taking these black American roles. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580, in conversation inside my Pulse One-on-One with Dr. Shauna Charles, Howard University grad. Inside my Pulse One-on-One, Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580 right now, news and traffic. Let's go.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A new report claims Black Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas failed to disclose a real estate deal he made with a wealthy Republican donor. ProPublica reports a company belonging to Texas billionaire Harlan Crow bought a single-story home and 2 vacant lots in Savannah, Georgia from Thomas and his